Interlude. If this typewriter can't do it, then what? Can the muse punt? The Remington SL3 needs a verb job. It clearly can't write between the lines. It's insensitive to the beauty of fungoid alkaloids. The more I ingest, the more inarticulate it becomes. And despite my insistence upon traditional literary values, it remains petulantly modern. Believe me, I'd have few qualms about switching machines in the middle of the stream, but nothing's open at this hour except Mom's all-night diner, and the contraption that taps out Mom's menu spells grease with 3 E's. I've been informed that Remington's warranty doesn't cover the typing of this nature, whatever that might mean. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. When I went to buy a policy from Mutual of Omaha, they'd only insure my typing finger for fire and theft. I guess there's nothing left to do but ram in the clutch on this bourgeois paper banger and try to coast to the finish line. In the event I don't make it, in the event that you, dear reader, must finish without me, well, you've been a good audience, probably better than an underdeveloped novelist with an overdeveloped typewriter deserves. And I'd like to leave you with one perfect sentence, one memorable image to fold in violet silk at the back of your brain box. Something on the order of a drop of tropical jelly oozing from a love bite on a concubine's lip. Alas, there's not enough juice for us to indulge ourselves. A familiar complaint in the last quarter of the 20th century. So at the risk of being coy, I'll thank you quickly and arrivederci on out of here. As they say in my country, have a nice day. Phase 4, Chapter 74. The dawn came up like a have a nice day emblem. The sun shone like Mr. Happy Face himself, and the horizons were all smiles. From boundary to boundary, the people arose as if they'd been given champagne enemas, convinced that they were going to have a nice day. A nation traditionally, historically, anciently monarchical was about to seat its first sovereign in 30 years. It was Coronation Day. Hooray! Everyone had the day off. The hotels and boarding houses were full. Along the procession route, crowds began thickening before dawn. All seats in the stands had been reserved as soon as booking opened, and the tickets were selling on the black market for the equivalent of $90 each. Balconies overlooking the route cost even more. School children had been given mugs, plates, pamphlets, and badges that they carried them as if they had supernatural properties, pressing them to their new spring outfits. From the radio aerials of automobiles, little flags fluttered chirpily. Soldiers, heroes of the Revolution, wore brand new boots of squeaky leather, and women, young and old, smiled at them from behind bouquets. By 8 o'clock, there were in the streets more flowers than people, and as common as roses were the dark blooms of cameras. At 10, the bees inside the camera heads began to whir furiously, announcing the approach of the state coach, gilded, curlicued, emblazoned with Baroque pastoral scenes by Cipriani, attended by scarlet and gold-coated postilions, and drawn by 6 white horses. Silver trumpets blared. Cathedral bells went dizzy, clanging. Frightened and Capitol's pigeons took to the sky, only to find the sky occupied by balloons, confetti, and acrobatic second-hand jets of a fledgling Air Force. In ceremonial tunic, the newly elected premier stepped from a less ornate carriage and climbed the lily-festooned stairs to the throne platform. The premier, military leader of the revolution, was cheered and cheered mightily, but it was obvious that the crowd was saving its thunder. All at once, a wave of exultation akin to religious ecstasy swept through the throng. Tears catapulted like crystal jumping beans from 50,000 sets of eyes. In 500,000 breasts, an enormous sigh took shape. "God save the Queen," shouted the Premier, and it mattered little that the Premier did not believe in God. "God save the Queen," roared the dignitaries, the soldiers, the weeping women, the workers, and the children. And there she was, ascending, her ermine train piling up behind her, a holy puppet clothed in magic robes for the comfort of the masses and the pride of the state, ascending in an aura of accumulated history, the visible and human aspect of government, the emerald cap on the toothpaste tube of nationality, the beauty mark on the contorted face of race. God save Queen Julietta! Long live Julietta! Long live the Queen! Chapter 75. Max's father, King Earwig IV, had impregnated a kitchen maid. Captivated by the skinny child who grew from his careless seed, he went often, before Max was born, to the scullery, where among cabbage leaves and leeks he bounced her on his elegant knee. Earwig offered to adopt her, but the child's mother, as spunky and obstinate as Julietta herself was to be, wouldn't have it. "You're content to leave me in the kitchen," she charged. "The baby stays here too." After Max's birth, when King Earwig had at last a proper heir, he sought out Julietta, that 11, and into her jam-sticky, bony little hand pressed a document admitting paternity. "There may come a time when you will need this," he said. A copy of the document was placed among his secret papers, where many decades later it was found by a member of the Revolution's Monarch Selection Committee investigating the Furstenberg Barcelona lineage. All along, Julietta had known that she was Max's half-sister. "What?" But she chose to honor her mother, in life and in death, by never revealing the fact. However, she was approached by agents of the Revolution. They found her splitting cedar kindling beside a fireplace on Puget Sound. She chose to honor her father by freely confessing to the purple in her veins. "We've lost faith in Max and Tilly," they told her. "And besides, Max has renounced the crown. Their sons are beneath consideration. They are trash. We would have liked Princess Lee Cherie, but you're aware that she's gone and done. You're aware of what she's gone and done. You are left, and you will be perfect. You are representative of both our proud royal heritage and our good common folk. Upon your head, the crown will not be just a piece of autocratic hardware. It will be an adjunct of democratic socialistic rule. You will be a queen for the people because, though genetically royal, you come from among the people. Why, you even speak the mother tongue, the old language. On top of that, when it comes to Furstenberg Barcelonas, you've got more sense than any of them." At first her age worried them, but when they observed the vim with which she swung her hatchet, they nodded at one another and smiled. "She'll outlast the 20th century," they predicted. So shortly after Christmas, old Julietta acceded to the throne, and in the spring she publicly accepted the elaborate tokens of regal responsibility: the scepter, the ring, and last, the crown itself. It was such a glittering, emotion-charged occasion, pompous in the best sense of the word, that not a soul, not even the premier, noticed that the old woman never at any time during the coronation unclenched her left fist. And in the unlikely event that they had noticed, nobody would have suspected that inside the fist was a living frog. When the creature croaked, they attributed the sound to the excitement of ancient bowels and went right along with the ceremony. Upon being crowned, Julietta's first act was to reaffirm diplomatic ties with Peru and Bolivia, to whose envoys she hinted strongly that some nice fresh cocaine, for medicinal purposes only, would be regarded a proper tribute. Her second act was to personally request of the President of the United States of America the commuting of the sentence of a certain political prisoner held in federal jail in Washington state. As a matter of protocol, the President had little choice but to comply. Chapter 76. Hello, darling. Any word about the limestone? Lee Cherie embraced Abin Faisal. She kissed his mouth and welcomed the hands that slid immediately inside her negligee. How can one speak of stone when there is flesh at hand? Abin asked. He drew her more tightly against him. Take it easy, darling. Don't be in such a hurry. Meat won't melt. I want to hear about the limestone. Okay, there is good news, finally. The ship she passes through the Suez at this hour should to be arrival here before 2 days. Oh, Lee Cherie squealed with happiness. I'm so glad. Aren't you glad? Maybe we'll even finish on schedule. Do you think so? You tell me to take it easy. Now I tell you to take it easy. Stone she not melt. Pyramid never melt. Pyramid will be here on earth long after this is in heaven. His fingers, dripping with jewels, closed around her groin. This is in heaven already, or it soon will be. With a movement like a raccoon picking a fruit, like an outlaw striking a match, she unzipped his trousers.